don't really know where this customer comes from. I don't know if it's important or not. And if he doesn't know about something, if someone is making, say, some offensive comments, he might tend to stay away from that. And it's just a viral loop. It goes on and on and on. And in the case of Twitter, it's even worse, right? So, and plus, say you do have a few of your agents staffed, and they are trying to diligently go through all the posts. What if all your agents are just typing the same response to one customer? How are you going to avoid all of this? Cherry picking by agents, that's what it is. So to help you bridge all these gaps, to help you actually bring the social media engagement concept into the contact center, we built Aspect Social just for the contact center purposes. So that is why we have specifically mentioned it is an on-demand product purpose-built for the contact center. The word purpose-built is the key here. Because we are not just going to sit and monitor for trends and say, hey, I got so many tweets today, so this is good, so I'm done for the day. No, that's not the case. This one's purpose-built for the contact center, meaning it's actually going to help you bring social media into the contact center in a very effective manner in terms of, say, applying all those agent metrics, KPIs, and having automated workflows for your agent. So just like how you treat your voice and other non-voice interactions like email and web chat, you're going to treat social media engagements as well in the same manner and very effectively. So what does this do? So just before I do show you screenshots and tell you what it actually does, maybe I'll just give you an idea of what it is. Focus and measure social service efforts and outcomes. So like I said, measure agent metrics, measure your overall performance statistics, and see to it that is aligned with your KPIs and goals from the perspective of a supervisor. And then you have capture, prioritize, and assign social interactions to the right team. Right party contact, very, very important, more so in the case of social media engagement. So you have it for voice and email and web chat. There's no reason why we shouldn't apply the same concept for social media as well. Maintains the context of social conversations. This is something that we really need to look at. So say you are posting something about say a new service or an announcement. You're going to have say 100 or 200 comments. All those 100 and 200 comments are not necessarily going to be about the service that you posted. So one person starts something, oh, this sounds great, this is something new, I might be interested in purchasing this. And another one says that, oh, this is not so great, I still prefer the old one. And the conversation, it just keeps going on and on. You really don't know as to what they are talking about. It's going to be really wayward. So one person talking about one product and the other one bringing in something else. So it's just a whole lot of data, and that is why it will be important to actually maintain the context here. So let's ensure that if we resolve an issue over Facebook or Twitter, if we are talking about one issue, then let's make sure that we are talking only about that on one interaction. So it's let me compare this to a voice interaction, for example. You're not going to service customers on one voice call for various issues, multiple issues, right? So if you have one ticket for, say, one issue, and if they ask, okay, can you also help me with issue number 2, then you will say, okay, we will, but can I open a separate ticket for that? The same concept in the case of social media as well. And last but not the least, enables proactive care for the social customer. Very interesting again. So you have the concept of, say, outbound campaigns, let it be with voice, or sending out bulk emails, bulk SMSs. How many of us actually read that? When I do hear some, automated voice, telemarketing call, the first thing I do is I just drop the call. Let's face it, that's what a lot of time, it happens a lot of time, and the same goes with emails or SMSs as well. We, hit the spam button and there it goes. But in the case of social media, you would definitely have a better chance of making sure that message is going out to the customers. Because it's, somebody, if not 100 people are watching it, then you never know, maybe 200 people are watching, or maybe at least 50 are watching it. So enables proactive care, similar to the concept of outbound campaigns. So what we will be seeing now is how exactly Aspect Social looks like. What interfaces, what kind of features and functionalities do we have in place to actually carry out whatever I just said, how are we going to enable bringing it into the contact center? So let's take an example. So this is, we used our own demo system is modeled on the lines of a banking system. So the name is Social Bank. So we have one customer called Sophia who tweets the bank about and asks about, okay, so what are the latest interest rates for a home loan? So what Aspect Social is going to do now, it's going to capture keywords like, say, interest rates, home loan, EMI, and it understands that this is something related to, say, mortgaging or home financing. Of course, the tool is not that intelligent, but you will be defining that, okay, so some keywords like this, they would be tied to the work group called mortgages. So it's going to identify and capture those keywords. It's going to tag them with the relevant information. Okay, so this one is for the savings account. This one is going to be for a platinum customer or a regular customer. It's for a home loan work group. It's going to prioritize. We have a browser-based user interface for that. And it's a role-based interface, so you're going to just for running the outbound campaigns for the agent and for the administrator as well. It's a browser-based interface that we have. So what you do have here is that on the left-hand side, what you can see is you can see a lot of, say, messages, posts and tweets, and even posts from third-party forums. So this concept, this pane over here, what it reflects is that this is a dynamic work queue, as we call it. And this is available only in Aspect Social as of today. No other vendor can actually provide you the concept of an automated workflow or a work queue. So similar to how you have a voice queue, right? So you will be able to see how many voice calls are there in the queue, how many are important, how many have their waiting time, their SLAs. So similarly, you can do that for social media posts as well. You would be able to see the customer's information when you click on them. You would be able to see the SLAs depending on the priority. So that is the dynamic work queue. So if you do see here, there are around some 6 posts over there. So what this means is that this particular agent who is logged into just certain skills is going to receive posts only relevant to that. So what you can see here is that you would be able to see the post relevant only to that agent's skills. You're not going to see all those hundreds and thousands of posts and tweets coming in from anywhere. So you have different groups of agents. You log them into different skills, and the post will be routed accordingly. It's exactly like how you do it for voice. Absolutely no difference. And what else does the agent have in terms of, say, engaging with a customer? What else do we provide him with? So we have, first and foremost, very important, we have the customer information on the very right-hand side. So customer information, so someone tweets to you today, you have his Twitter handle. You can also, the tool will be intelligent enough to grab any other data that is available on his Twitter handle. And this is just the post relevant to an agent's skill. Whatever, now this particular agent is logged into that skill called mortgage. So we align, we'll define a certain set of keywords for each work group so that when the tool does, identify and capture them, they'll know, the tool would know as to which work group should it be routing to. So other posts, which are not relevant to this agent's information, it will go to the other work groups and you'll have other agents staffed on that. Let's not call it searching. Because what we are not doing is we are not actually monitoring and just looking for, okay, so who is commenting about who. The way Aspect Social works is we actually integrate with those platforms. So as compared to a monitoring tool, which exactly it exactly doesn't integrate with each of the platforms, and that is why it cannot route those posts to the contact center. It is just going to tell you, okay, so there are people talking about your brand, take notice of that. That's all a monitoring tool can do, and it needs no integration. But in the case of Aspect Social, we integrate with those platforms, like say Twitter and Facebook, we support default integration, and we can support integration with, say, LinkedIn and other third-party tech forums that we have, IT forums that we have. So that will enable to actually capture and identify the posts, and they will be routed to the contact center, as compared to just having them stay over there. Aspect Professional Services would be able to do that for you. So you will definitely have your own user community or your own online portal. So we would be able to integrate with that, just like how we do with Facebook and Twitter. And you can have your customers' comments posted, routed over here. So the response times, or say the transporting of posts and comments or tweets to Aspect Social is instant. It happens within 30 seconds or 45 seconds. Once it appears on, say, the Twitter page or the Facebook page of the user, it appears within, in another few seconds on the social bank's page, your own brand's page on Facebook or Twitter, and then from there it comes to Aspect Social. That's how the flow is. So yes, to answer to the point, we can definitely integrate with monitoring tools, and like Edwin said, we also have a partner called Lithium. So they can provide the monitoring capabilities. They can monitor the social web as to from which side do you want to route posts. You might have your own tools. You might want to monitor some particular forums. So we can do that, but it would be from a monitoring perspective, not from Aspect Social's perspective. That's the only difference. So we saw the dynamic work queue. As for the customer details, so I was just telling you, say a customer today tweets to you over Twitter, you can always grab those details as whatever is available in his Twitter account, like his phone number, his birth date, whatever details you want, you can grab that from his Twitter profile. You can also have the agent collect data from the customer as to about his Facebook handle, his phone number, any other platform that you have integrated with, like your own user community. So that community handle can be here. And plus, apart from all of this, you can also do an integration with CRM so that you can have a more precise detail of the customer's profile. So this is something that is manual for today, but we would be automating this in the future. So what that means is, instead of the agent having to collect or enter data about his Facebook handle, his phone number, or email ID that he can see in the social web, the tool would do an automatic job of actually collecting that data and posting it over here. And that is a part of the product roadmap. But today, if he tweets to you, all the data in his Twitter profile is going to be available for the agent. And next, coming to access of knowledge base and templates. So yes, for a traditional contact center, we always have knowledge base for our agents, and we have the same concept for Aspect Social as well. We can also support SharePoint integration, and yes, we have templates as well. So canned responses, you don't want the agent to keep typing all the time because there's just too much, right? So we have canned responses. So the way it happens is, you have the customer's profile over here, and you would also have access to all of the customer's conversations. If you see that there's next to profile, there's this tab called conversations, right? So you're going to be able to see all the conversations of this customer, how many ever he has open with Aspect Social. And not just that.
How do you manage, on what basis do you manage the application?
So it's going to, we have something called as related conversations. So if we see the same keywords in, say, Facebook and Twitter, the system is going to identify those same keywords because it's all going to be a part of the same work group as well. And it will group them under related conversations. So that means the agent would have access to all of those conversations under the same interface. And you can see that, okay, if they are truly related, then he would know to just send out one response over all of the platforms. And apart from that, we can also have, say, for response options, we have something called as, link to response portals. So as for, say, response options, we have something called as link to response portal, but not just response portal. Let's say you want to integrate customer satisfaction surveys. You would definitely want to. In the case of voice calls, we have, email we have, web chat we have. So you can always provide a link to your CSAT surveys. Or still better, you can also include an actual, you can give the link for your own user community. So say it's a customer trying, who's interacting with you for the first time on Facebook and Twitter. And we all want our customers to, join our own online portals. We want them to, actually interact with each other. And that's going to give us a better idea of what the customer is talking about and where is he coming from. So you can include a link to that as well. Like I said, classifying with tags so that, you can give the maximum information to the agent in terms of understanding what the post is about, where is he coming from, how many times he has already asked this question. And yes, prioritization, like I said. The system is going to automatically prioritize posts, but say the agent would be able to decide better if this is actually important, that important. If it's not so important, he has a better understanding of this customer's previous history, then he can always reduce the priority or increase the priority and do that. And whatever the agent does, any action that the agent takes on any conversation, all of this is going to be available to the supervisor. So we understand that this is something sensitive. We just cannot have an agent play around with, okay, so let me change the priority, let it sit in the queue for some more time. So the supervisor is going to have visibility of everything the agent does. He is going to be able to monitor whatever the agent does to a particular conversation.
Can it be moderated before it gets sent out?
The concept of a review queue is part of a product roadmap. As of today, we have conversations available to the supervisor, but we cannot exactly have the supervisor check them before sending it out.